Hello, and welcome to the first of many of your online video lectures as we move through this coronavirus madhouse, as it were. Today we are going to finish up Appeals, Chapter 6. I'm going to start, however, with the syllabus to ensure you guys know what's due, what we're going to be doing for the next 5 weeks as we move through the rest of the semester from an online perspective. Again, as I said in my introduction video that I posted online last week, you are still responsible for your projects. We are going to have a midterm examination, and we are going to move through chapters 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 from an online content perspective. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to set up Zoom, but what I'm expecting to do is set up Zoom with you as a group and your clients so that you can report out to your clients. Again, the report outs are going to be 15 minutes or 20 minutes like they would be in class. You're just going to do it remotely via Zoom. Haven't talked to the clients yet about that, but that is my job to get that taken care of between now and the rest of the semester. So with that being said, I'm looking forward to really the online part. Again, my job is to deliver content as best as I can and have you absorb the content and learn as we move through the semester. So with that, let's get started. And again, I'm going to start with the syllabus, and then I'm going to move into Chapter 6 and finish the chapter with appeals. So where I want to start today is really I want to start with Blackboard. The first thing that we need to understand is on Blackboard, right here under Content Materials, I have online content. This online content is going to have just what I explained in the introduction. Chapter 6, Chapter 7, Chapter 8, Chapter 9, and Chapter 10. The videos I'm going to try to split up so that none of the videos are more than 15 minutes long. I understand that these things can get a little bit dry, and I understand that sometimes it's difficult to watch it for more than 15 minutes. So my goal is to split up, say, Chapter 7, which is all about executional framework, into 15-minute chunks. Today we might go just slightly over 15 minutes, but I'm hoping we don't. The other thing I want to talk about is in the syllabus, where it says revised syllabus right here. Let's pull that up. And this is what we're going to do for the rest of the semester. There are no cases due for the rest of the semester. Your cases that you have done are going to be, that is going to be your grade. So all of you that have done cases, that is going to be your final grade. As you can see, we're a little bit behind Chapter 6, Chapter 7, Chapter 8, Chapter 9, and Chapter 10. Your midterm examination is going to be right before your client presentation, and then you're going to have client presentations here. Again, there is no final exam, so you don't have to worry about the final exam. You can watch Chapter 6, Chapter 7, Chapter 8, Chapter 9, and Chapter 10 videos anytime you want. I don't care. You don't have to watch them weekly. You don't have to watch them when they're due. It doesn't make any difference. The content is there to help you do well on the midterm examination, which is 413. So as long as you watch the content there before the week of the 13th, I don't really care. Again, nothing's due. There is no homework due, nothing's due until really the 13th when you have to do the midterm examination. More on that later. So that's what's going on. So again, Blackboard, there it is. You've got your course materials right here. All of the online content we'll put here. The new syllabus, please make sure you're referring to this often, is right there. With that being said, let's get into the content that I want to talk about. The first thing that we want to do is we want to go back into the appeals. Music appeal is the next appeal. If you can remember, way in the Wayback Machine before the world went crazy, we talked about the 7 different appeals. The first one is fear, then you have humor, you have sex. We just finished up sex. You have music appeal, rational appeal, emotional appeal, and scarcity appeal.
So now we've finished up the fear, humor, and sex, and now we're into the music appeal. Music appeal connects with emotions and memories. What the producers and directors are trying to do is trying to get a song stuck in your head, or they're trying to enhance the creative with background music. If you think about the Melissa McCarthy video that I showed before with background music, the music appeal was I Need a Hero, and it really enhanced the thing, enhanced the creative. There's also sometimes producers and directors will attach a creative to a particular song. And that particular song, as that particular song goes up the Billboard chart, then as you think about that song or hear about that song or hear that song, you form a bond with the brand. That is, let's see if I can do this. What we find in this particular creative right here with Alex Clare.
Which way is right? Which way is wrong? How do I say that I need to move on? You know we headed separate ways, and it feels like I am just too close to love you. There's nothing I can really say.
Okay, so you got the idea that what we're trying to do is that song by Alex Clare went to, I think, number 3 on the Billboard Top 100. So what Microsoft was trying to do is as people listen to that song, they would build a brand with Microsoft. So with music appeals, you've got some design questions. What role will music will it play? Will it be a central part of the program or the commercial, or will it be background? Will it enhance the commercial, etc.? Will a familiar song be used or a song created? If a familiar song is used, we're trying to build a brand. If it's creative, then what we're trying to do is get a jingle or something stuck in your head. And then finally, the emotional feeling that the song should elicit. Like humor, I Need a Hero with Melissa McCarthy, or that last Alex Clare song that you've heard. So oftentimes they select a familiar tune or they write a jingle to get it stuck in your head. And that's music appeal. The advantage of music appeals is consumers have affinity with existing songs. They hear the song, they think about the brand. They have an emotional affinity with a song, and if they like the song, oftentimes it translates to the brand. Musicians oftentimes will find a song and it gets associated with the brand, and then the song becomes popular. Usually the song is popular, then is associated with the brand, but sometimes it can launch a musician's career by having a famous brand tie with that particular song. The song gets more playtime, the musician gets more popular. Rational appeals really are the boring commercials. Usually they are those appeals that are comparative. You're comparing one product to another. With rational, you're trying to make people think. You're trying to have them process information. You're trying to have them look at something and say, yes, I understand it, I get it, etc. Business to business most oftentimes uses rational appeals. They usually don't use humor appeals because with business to business, it's oftentimes rooted in international. And again, there is a lot of problems with humor in the international setting. Oftentimes it's product attributes, product features. It is very complex, and they use rational appeal to do that. I am not going to show you rational appeal commercials because they tend to be boring, and there's really no reason to do that. Emotional appeals. Emotional appeal have a tendency to have the consumers form a brand with that particular appeal. And so with emotional appeals, consumers it'll tug on the consumer's heartstrings. They'll have the ah factor when they say, ah, isn't that nice? Oftentimes emotional appeals have puppies or babies or old people or caring for people and that type of thing. And they really capture attention and again, build emotional brands with the bond. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get brand loyalty. They're trying to get company loyalty, and they're trying to use different media outlets for that emotional appeal. Of course, the best media outlet is television. I want to show you now a emotional appeal commercial that I think is one of the best ones ever. So again, that is a very, very, very strongly emotional commercial. Let me turn myself down here. It's going to drive me nuts. That is a very, very strong emotional commercial where they're, again, building a emotional appeal and brand loyalty and really building a bond with the brand. And then finally, scarcity appeals. Scarcity appeals kind of tie along with fear. What they're trying to say is if you don't get it, you're going to be the only one on this planet that doesn't. Run and go out and buy the product. Oftentimes they'll say while supplies last, which is a scarcity appeal tactic. Or they'll say for a limited time, something like that. It's based on limited time purchases, and it's often tied to promotional tools such as contests, sweepstakes, couponing, something like that. There's a scarcity appeal commercial. They tend to be boring. They aren't really very appealing to consumers. They're trying to scare you into doing something that may or may not be good. So that takes care of that. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about the means end chain. This is usually an exercise that I give you guys to do to help with your projects on the means end chain. I'm not going to do that today. You're not going to have an exercise. It's very difficult to do this asynchronously via the internet. So anyways, that is going to conclude today's lecture. It was 12 minutes and 40 seconds, a little bit over because of the introduction, but that's going to conclude today's lecture, and that is going to take care of chapter 6. I look forward to speaking with you again when we go to chapter 7.